Welcome to Self-Publishing Authors, home for candid talks and honest recommendations, from book editing to book marketing, from author journeys to inspirations. Hosted by Gurhan Demirkan.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gurhan with Book Selfie. I am coming at you from Austin, Texas. And I believe we have two more ladies from Austin. No, one lady from Austin. Yes. And the other one is not from Austin, but that's okay. She's from Texas. And I am going to let every single one of them introduce themselves. These are professional reviewers and editors, and we have a book to review today. We're going to go into the details. We're going to ask some questions, and what we're going to do afterwards is we're going to distribute this review all throughout Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, and all the good places like Google or Apple Podcasts and everywhere else. And of course, these ladies, they're going to share them all through their social media and their blogs. So it's exciting. That's what we do for our clients, right? Yes. Okay, so I'm looking at my screen, and the first one is Christy. Christy, go ahead. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Christy Wagner. I'm in the Milwaukee area of Wisconsin. And I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 kids, but I do reviewing and editing on the side.
Awesome. How about you, Jenny?
I'm Jenny Rosenblum of Jenny Reads here in Austin, Texas. Retired librarian, editor, book reviewer, all things indies.
Nice. How about you, Sandra?
Hi, I'm Sandra Cruz. I'm from the Rio Grande Valley in Texas. I'm a freelance writer with my own blog where I help promote books mainly, but also music, restaurants, theater, performances, everything in between. And I'm also a seller on Fiverr.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to start, and we're going to start giving some stars to this book, right? Okay, we're going to start. We're going to start with the cover of the book. And who wants to go first? I'm not going to go by the lineup on my screen. Who wants to go first?
Well, when I first saw it, it looked like a maybe, I know it's a futuristic book, but at first glance, it looked like maybe a post-apocalyptic scene, like the ruins of the city or stuff like that. I had to really look closer at it to realize it was like a close-up of the city, but first glance, it looks like a city in ruins, or a city blown up or something. That was my first impression when I first saw the cover.
Okay, so how do you like the cover? Good, bad?
Looks good.
It's good?
I liked it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, at the end, I'm going to tell you guys something about the cover, how the cover came about. Okay, what about you? How about you, Jenny?
At first glance, it made me think of those old sci-fis, like back in, and you guys are too young to know this, but like in the 70s, and the sci-fi on the paperback, and that was my first glance. Just looking at the thumbnail, it was tough to see all the details. But once I got it on my iPad and it was that size, then I could see the writing on the spaceship, what I thought was a spaceship. I could see all the city stuff, and then it was a lot more intriguing. It just, at first glance, my first thought was, oldie sci-fi.
Oldie sci-fis. And how do you like it though? Good?
No, I did like it once I could see the whole thing. I didn't like the thumbnail because it was just too hard to figure out what it was.
Yes. What about you, Christy?
I liked it too. Again, I got that post-apocalyptic vibe from it, and I think it may have been better with just a close-up of the main character and focusing on, I won't give away too much of the story, but like what she's doing or dealing with, or maybe even like her suit.
Her suit, yeah. Well, actually, we're going to start promoting this book, and the main character is going to come out.
Excellent.
In the promotion, yes. In fact, the author is making small videos, animations.
I've seen it. I've seen a little snippet on YouTube.
Yes, snippets. Yeah, he's been working very hard. He's from Philly.
Okay.
And of course, and this novel is going on in Philly,
Right.
you know. So he has so many plans. Let's see how it's gonna go. So what we do, what we're gonna say is maybe 5 out of 5 on the cover. What are we gonna do? 4?
I'd say 4, just because it's hard to look at from a distance and see what's going on. I think a close up of one thing rather than focusing on a bunch of things would be better. But I
Okay.
liked it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. What about you, Sandra?
I agree.
You agree?
It would have been better to focus on one particular thing, but I get the message he was trying to, give the overview of the city, and but I like that.
The author is gonna hear this and he's gonna say, "Okay, we're changing the cover now." No, he's a good guy. He's all right. Okay, so and from the cover, from the outside of the book, and we're gonna go into the interior. And what are we thinking about the interior? The format, is the flow okay and everything looks good? How about, let's start with you, Sandra.
Yeah, the format overall was readable, considering that I had the Kindle. It's everything came through. Unfortunately, I've seen some other ones where they get chopped off or something, but this one, the format came through pretty good on the Kindle. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. How about Jenny? What do you think?
I read it on an iPad and had no issues whatsoever. Everything looked good on the page. Everything was easy to follow. I didn't even find any mistakes.
Wow.
I know. Bummer.
Oh, Jenny couldn't find any mistakes.
Yeah.
That's nice. How about you? Go ahead.
I read it on my phone on the Kindle app. And again, it came through really nicely. The only thing about the formatting that I kind of took a second look at was the coordinates at the beginning of each chapter.
Yes.
But I kind of realized that was telling you where everything was happening. So
yes. Yeah. In fact, we did the interior design. And I had to brag about this, We did the interior design. And I wanted to talk to you about the cover. The cover came out, I believe the author's wife used to be an art teacher. And she had this really talented 15-year-old or 16-year-old, something like that, really young, either boy or a girl. He or she did that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. It's not like some professional, designer or illustrator did it. So I forgot to tell you that. That's nice. Okay, so we're gonna go deeper into the book, and let's talk about the supporting characters, or maybe the main. Let's start the main character. What do you think, Jenny?
So I'll do positive first. So I'm going to skip Heather for right now. I liked all the supporting characters. I liked even Ozzy.
We're starting with the main character.
Oh, do I have to? Okay.
Okay. Let's do the supporting.
No, I will do as I'm supposed to. Okay. So Heather, I started out confused by her. And I felt like as she developed in the story, I wasn't given enough to understand her reactions to things. She seemed like she had a pretty good life. And I don't think they went enough into the background of her so that I could understand when she was starting to be displeased with things. I know why she was displeased, but I just felt like they didn't tell me enough about this particular woman and what she was going through to get there on my own. But I loved all the supporting characters. I loved her agent, the bird, and every time he showed up, it was just like I could totally see that in my head. I was right there with it. So yeah, that was all good. I think they did a great job on Billy. I mean, I got him. It took a while to get into it. and his wife, but I got him and I understood where he was coming from. So yeah, I was, except for the Heather disconnect, and I was just like, okay, I can see why, but why her? It just, yeah, a little disconnect there for me.
Maybe we are up to writing a short story, you know, about
Or maybe
her.
a prologue.
Yeah,
You know,
prologue, something like
something, a
that.
prequel, something that
Yes,
can give you some insight.
yes.
You just got little snippets of her life and what led her to where she is.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask him to write like maybe 10, 20 pages of you know, background of the main character.
Or flashback or something, you know?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. That's
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sandra? What do you think about the main character?
As far as Heather's is concerned, Heather, I agree. Considering the title of the book is the alpha upgrade of her,
Mhm.
it would have been nice to read more about her, why she chose to upgrade her. That's true. Her backstory, a little bit more on her backstory. It would have been. I think he spent a lot of time describing her in the beginning physically,
Mhm.
where it would have been better, where a little bit more into her backstory.
Previous life, you know.
Mhm.
Yes. What about the
Yeah.
supporting characters?
No, they were funny. I like her agent and everybody else. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were pretty good. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So the whole thing actually fits together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
What about you, Christy?
Yeah, I agree. I think knowing more about H.T. Heathers and her background would have been really important for understanding her reactions, you know, with the events, but it kind of just like went right in. And it's like, okay, she's in this situation and this is how she's reacting. But like Jenny said, we don't really know why, and we don't
Mhm.
understand it until later. So kind of getting more of that information up front would be really helpful. But I did like her character. I liked her attitude and just kind of the, you know, the strong female lead
Mhm.
characteristics.
Yeah.
And the supporting characters, I mean, Arthur, her assistant, PR agent, whatever, like a little cartoon bird flying around her head is just this awesome imagery, you know, to put with that. And of course, like I had a little bit kind of struggling to figure out Billy's reaction and why they were so passionate about what they thought and, you know, their plan. And so and we got that later, we understood why. But I think having a little snippet of that beforehand would have helped it flow better, because I'm just like, okay, well, why is this such a big thing? You know? And kind of going through and looking how she interacted with all of those characters. And then, what's the place called? The Hat and the something as well.
Mhm.
Like, I think that was really well explained and, you know, situated within the story itself.
That's cool. Yes. Yes. I think author wants to open up some sort of a kiosk at the city hall about this book, and he's gonna put some videos or things like that. Maybe I'll ask him to do a little bit of a background of the HD, the Heather person, and that would be quite interesting for people, you know, to see. Oh, you know, that's what she is, where she's coming from, you know. Well, he's gonna watch this anyway, so. Okay, so overall, what? Go
Can I
ahead.
just add one thing? So because it was set in Philadelphia, I'm very familiar with Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And I thought he did a great job. I mean, I could visualize the locations, and I liked when he went back to some of the old names around the city that they were then using in the future. I thought that was a nice tidbit in there, and I enjoyed that connection. So.
Yeah, well, we're betting that people from Philadelphia actually would buy this book left and right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we'll see. Now we're gonna get into the hook of the story. Who wants to start? Come on, Sandra, go ahead. The hook.
What I was trying to figure out what the hook is, but No, I'm drawing a blank.
You're drawing blank.
Yeah.
What about you, Jenny? Go ahead.
So I felt like the hook happened very early in the story. And the hook for me was the battle between Heather and Billy. That's what got me into the story. That's what got me invested. That's what got me wanting to know what was coming next. The setup before that was good. But the hook happened so fast that at times during the story, I wanted to go back to that. You know, I wanted to understand the preface. I know why he did it. Drop us in action, keep us reading. I get all that. But I'm a very curious person. And so I spent a lot of time going, but why? But why?
But actually, so it's a good hook, in other words.
Yes. For me, yes. It pulled me right in. Yeah.
How about you, Christy? What do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, it sets you in this, like, it puts you in this situation where it's like this totally not now setting, right? And I read it and thought, okay, wow, this is different. How did we get here? And that really like kept me going, because I'm like, okay, well, I want to find out how, as a society, we got to this place where there is a battle being broadcast with like mechanical suits and everything, or like, you know, like, how did we get here?
Oh, so you have the main characters, you have the supporting characters, you got the hook, and overall, we're talking overall. I need you ladies to give me some good stuff about this book. You know, before we started recording, we talked about sex scenes. Let's just open up a little topic, the sex scenes of this book. Okay, Jenny, go ahead.
Yeah, because it
Jenny's
surprised
like
me.
grinning.
No, but it surprised me. And I went between, okay, this is enhancing the story and this is not necessary for the story. So the scenes themselves are very well done. But I didn't feel like they were necessary. The scenes that weren't as explicit got the same message across.
Okay.
And so I worried about limiting an audience with those, and there's only 2, but they're detailed. And so I'm afraid that that's just going to turn some people off. On the other hand, there might be people who would not consider science fiction, who hears it has good sex scenes and would read it. So I'm not sure which direction it goes. It did not make me want to stop reading, but it did make me question why the author felt it was necessary, and what they were trying to say with those scenes.
What about you, Sandra?
Well,
she loved them.
I don't know who the target demographic book is for this particular novel, but considering the touchy book banning thing going on right now, I mean, is it for junior high kids? Considering the whole animation, it looks like it's targeted for junior high kids. Are parents gonna have a problem with that? I mean, adults, it's fine. They were well done, but does it add to the story? Probably not. But I had no problem with them. I've read similar novels before, and I'm good with it.
Yeah. How about you, Christy? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with both Sandra and Jenny, because, you know, when you read books, that's just something that happens. I mean, it's a part of life, right? Sex happens. And like Jenny said, they were well done, but the scenes that didn't go into explicit detail also, you know, they told us the same thing. They gave us the same information. And, you know, when that comes into play later on, we didn't need the step-by-step in order to understand the complexity of it and how it fit in with that situation. And, you know, like Sandra said, it looks like it's marketed for a much younger audience. So kind of going back and forth between what is the intention, who is it really for, and does that add to the story? Because as a reader, when that pops up, I'm like, okay, well, what direction is this entire book going now?
Yeah.
Is it going down that path, or is it going down a different path? And it kind of makes you wonder, like, you know, if this is here, how big of a part of the story is it? And like you said, you know, is it necessary to the story? Probably not. We get the idea from just the overall description that doesn't go into detail. So I think that, you know, if the author decides to keep that in the way it is, there needs to be some sort of content warning when it gets into the hands of a younger audience. But I mean,
Yeah.
I've edited books that are completely that. So there's a place for it in literature, but maybe sci-fi for kids is not it.
Yes. Well, Walter is the first one who's going to watch this video, so I'm sure he'll make a decision about this one.
Like we all said, it was well done, but
Yeah.
time and place.
Well, what do you think? I mean, he's like almost from New York, you know, almost.
I mean, the thing
So-
that I liked the most about it was that it showed the character as a sex positive individual, which I think is really important in everything that's happening, you know, culturally speaking right now. So that to me is what stood out.
Yes, awesome. So the hook, the sex scenes, main characters, supporting characters, overall the book, the flow, and the story. What are we thinking? Good, you know, nice flow, keeps you, you know, going. What do you think, Christy? Go.
I think it flowed really well. Again, I wish there were maybe some flashbacks or prologue information, but as far as like understanding what's happening, like that was totally fine. I knew exactly what was happening. I knew where we were, when we were, and it all just made sense.
Okay. What about you, Jenny?
Yeah, I liked this book. The only
Oh my gosh.
and the weird thing is I'm not a science fiction fan. I'm a story fan, and I thought this was a good story. I could visualize the fight scenes. I could visualize what they were doing. So I think the author did a great job with all of that. The fight battle scene in the fountain was just, I had it totally in my head. It was incredibly done.
Nice.
So yeah, I wanted to know what was happening next. And thanks to the ending, I think I need to read the next one.
Coming up. Yes. What about you, Sandra? The flow, the whole story?
Yeah, overall, the whole story was good. I like it. I like the fact that it's a futuristic novel, but somehow you feel that it's because of all the technological things, you know, the viewership and the holograms. It feels like it's still in the present. I like that part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I like towards the end, the final battle scene where Heather, she's holding, was it her competitor? I forget, where she's about to, you know, the final blow where she yells at the audience, is this it? Are you entertained enough now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not entertained.
Yeah. Are you entertained now? Is this graphic enough for you? Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, there was a great message going through the whole thing with the technology and the bots and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, you can visualize that happening, you know, the advertising bots and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, this is the drones. And yeah.
And I like that you brought up the ending, because like that to me was a good message of like fighting against how things are and questioning whether it's right or wrong the way they are.
Yeah.
Nice. After people hear Sandra, they're gonna rush to get this book. It's like, I gotta read this. What's happening?
That caught my attention. Like, yeah, girl. Definitely.
Okay, so the final question. Rating of the book out of 5 stars. Sandra.
I would go a solid 4.
Solid 4. Nice.
Yeah, the story, the overall story, it has a little bit of everything. I like that he builds up the cities, the background of the cities, how they got to, you know, instead of being one United States, they're the mega cities, mega city this, mega city that. And it has science fiction, and it has a little bit of everything. I think it'll go well with most audiences. most
Awesome.
readers. Mhm.
Okay. What about you, Jenny?
Definitely a 4. You know, if he had just given me a little more on Heather, it could have been a 4.5. That was the only lacking thing. But I did enjoy it. It wasn't anything I had to schedule my read for. It was more of the, oh gosh, I should get back to work instead of just sitting here reading this, because it got me into it.
Nice. What about you, Christy?
I say 4 too. Again, because that background information is really important. And I think that, you know, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I had read, so shameless plug for an author that I worked with, Sigil, a cyberpunk thriller I read not long before reading this. So I was in, you know, the technological, post-apocalyptic or futuristic mindset. And that really, I think, you know, helped me be more perceptive of it going in. But I really enjoyed it too. And like Jenny said, I'm going to have to read the second one.
Yeah, cool. Oh, the author is going to be thrilled, you know.
And the editing was good. So whoever you have as an editor, keep them. I only noticed a couple of things. So.
Well, that's important for you. I know that's important for you. You know?
Yes.
Yes. You start seeing grammars.
Like
Yeah, little things. It's like, okay, 1 star, 2 star. I'm not reading this book. I'm very glad to hear that coming from you. Okay, ladies, this is the end. I am so happy to hear that this is a solid 4 book. And I know from you, ladies, solid 4 is like, awesome, go get the book, you know. Okay, so any other comments?
I would just like to make a comment going back to the supporting characters. I really like what the author did with the, I don't know her name, but the hostess, the antagonist. You know which one I'm talking about? I guess it falls under those ones that you love to hate. You know, she was being so pushy and
Mackenzie, was that Mackenzie?
Yeah. No. I guess she was the hostess.
The woman at the bar.
No, I'm sorry. The one that had her show a bit like a reality show.
Right.
Oh, Bean.
Bean.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was just giving people what they wanted, but you know, you love to hate her, and she was so antagonistic, but in your face. But hey, that's what people wanted to see. So
awesome.
Yeah, I think
that
was
it's good. Done well when you actually hate the character.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna say thank you very much, and I will see you ladies on the next one. This has been really awesome.
Welcome to Self-Publishing Authors, home for candid talks and honest recommendations, from book editing to book marketing, from author journeys to inspirations. Hosted by Gurhan Demirkan.